And welcome to the early morning initiative. Healthcare sucks. These people, quote, W.19.C. Security Committee hearing this morning. It's still going on. I thought I would just touch base with you to let you know. One of the senators did ask them about food card and cash, but it was not brought up anything so far about the debt. Your debts, whether you could put off paying your house payments, and how that would be suspended without ruining your credit or losing your homes or losing your car or losing your credit. They danced around it. I didn't hear it yet. I will run through this when this is completely done and see if they did by some chance and I missed it. But so far that part wasn't. They did, however, talk about a food stamp card and TANF, which would be a cash card. Now that was for families with kids. Now I don't know how that's going to go to people who do not have children. We'll have to wait and see. Now, when it went to the government side of that question, they said that they had been notified, and the senator asked them, well, you're here, what's your answer? And they go, well, we haven't got an answer yet, bottom line. So in other words, they're tapping it down. They're not doing their jobs. They should already have the answers to these questions. Another couple interesting things I've seen is this was one of those shows, again, where the left and the right are going to argue and hate each other. There was hate going on. As far as, of course, without sounding prejudiced, this is not a prejudice statement, I'm going to tell you up front, but I'm just going to, it's hard for me to candy coat things, so I'm going to tell you how it is. One of the senators, actually two of them, one from Arizona and I forgot where the other one was from, was so concerned that illegal aliens would not be able to get care and that they would not get arrested when they went to get checked, or basically we're back to that part about ICE and illegal and criminal aliens. The situation was kind of tamped around and talked about. As far as, I do agree with the pandemic that anybody here, whether they're illegal or not, has to be checked, obviously. But as far as beyond that point, and as far as those people getting funds and stuff, yes, if they're going to quarantine them, I have to step up and say yes, until they're well, we should. But after that, they should be returned, unless they're in the process of becoming a U.S. citizen. Now, some of you will like that answer, some of you won't. That's okay. I'm just stating what I've seen and what seems to be going on. The answer from the government on that was, as far as a facility, they won't. But I kind of caught that if they're illegal aliens, as far as criminal, they would be arrested. So, again, I try not to get too far into that one because people have feelings on both sides of that fence, and it's highly political, and I'd rather just not argue over it because, again, I'm trying to get us to get together on this situation and bond. The only thing I will say is that I'm fine. If you want to come to America, do what's right, get jobs, great. That's how most of us came to America. I have no problem with it. Now, as far as border jumping and bringing illegal substances and bringing dangerous things across the border, which was covered by Mrs. Marfugel way back, even involving a DIRTY BOMBA, Boomba, that kind of stuff. No. And the taking of women and children from the U.S. across there and then selling them, I'm not, that's criminal and it's wrong. They touched upon the pharmaceuticals, and they say they're working on it, but they're not even close to being ready. As far as the vaccination and the other situation, we're still looking at 6 months to a year plus on getting that done. Even antiviral. Then they're talking about other meds that they can use this way and that way. These guys have no idea what they're doing. The bottom line here. Again, I'm going to put to you what this is. This is a bioweapon, guys. It's doing exactly what it's engineered to do. If you want to know a little bit more about what's going on, look at Dr. Campbell's thing. His statements today says that it's actually split. It has mutated again, which is exactly what we talked about on Healthcare Sucks, into 2 different forms. And he goes into the total medical breakdown. So some of you would understand, some of you won't. I understand some of it. But the bottom line is there's 2 different forms of it now. And you can reinfect. I want to tell you straight out, there's more than enough proof of that. There's people that have been reinfected a second time. We have yet to see a 3rd infection, which would be terrible, guys. It's like getting the flu, and then getting the flu. That'd be crazy. With that, I just wanted to touch base and let you know there is a little bit of progress. But as far as any definite answers, I'm not hearing them. So I'd urge you to still call your senators and your governors and tell them you're concerned and you want answers. Because if they're not answering about the debts being canceled and postponed without it damaging your credit or losing your homes and etc., then that needs to be addressed. Because there are people that are lucky enough to be buying their homes, lucky enough to have a new car or nicer car, and people that have lots of people have credit cards, guys. And just think, if everybody filed for bankruptcy all at once, what would that do to the system? So we need an answer on this right away. On the rent, that might be covered by TANF and DHS. We will wait and see. I hope so for everybody that's a renter out there. But they are talking, after their bumble and blunder over the cruise thing, that it would be better to keep us all at home. Now, for people that are worried about this part, and I think we're all a little bit concerned about this, because it involves martial law, is talking about how they would implement with our military, the police, and healthcare professionals to keep people in their homes, and it was safer and better for people to be in their homes. I agree to the point, as long as they're getting care in their homes, you know, and the food, and there's bills paid, and etc. So some people are not going to be happy with that answer, that they're looking at enforcing quarantines. Like Canada was arresting people. Other countries have flat out arrested people for that situation. We're going to have to keep a close eye on it, brothers and sisters, because that's a close line there between a lot of people. And a lot of people, again, the more they make out with these kind of, you know, I understand the thought behind it, but people are not going to want to go even get checked or get tested. When you start threatening to lock people up in their homes, or fine them if they leave their homes, or criminally charge them if something happens and they leave their homes, that's just wrong, you know. And again, without providing that the bills are going to be paid. So I think I've rambled on quite a bit. I tried to cover most of the things that I thought was important. I'll try to go through the whole thing, let's just say, and see if there's anything else out there. You're welcome. It's live right now. There's a few minutes left, and then you can go back and watch the whole thing. If you guys catch anything I missed, please send it to me. Bless you all, and healthcare sucks. Over and out.